welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm actually going to show you how to make burger and bean pie. Now when I say beans, I mean baked beans. So you're probably thinking, oh my God, what a combination. Well, you know what? When I went to college in England, in Widnes, matter of fact, there was a shop there called the Pie Shop. Absolutely loved it. They had the most amazing pies there. Now, that was when it was the first time for me that I tasted a burger and bean pie and thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I absolutely loved it. Now, I've been trying to replicate it, and this is the close I can actually get to it without putting lard inside the actual pastry, because back in the day they used to put lard in the pastry. Now you can replace it if you want to make it a little bit more authentic with lard, but make sure it's 100% animal fat if you do get that. Anyway, so I'll stop babbling on, I'll get the ingredients together and I'll be back shortly. I'm using salted butter. Now what happens is it actually sweetens the pastry when you use salted butter. Now, if you don't want the pastry sweet, just use unsalted butter and put a pinch of salt in there as well, okay? What I've done is I've got the butter and I've cubed them just into small little cubes, which is easier to handle. To get started, what we'll do is pop the flour into the food processor. Now, if you're using unsalted butter, just put a pinch of salt in at this stage. Your butter. Let's just pulse this just until the pastry resembles breadcrumbs. And just make sure that your butter is extremely cold when you put it in here. Yeah, that's great. Now we're going to put the water in. Now just a little bit at a time with the water. I'm going to pop in around 6 tablespoons of water into the mix. Now we're going to pulse this until we get a nice dough. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's perfect. So let's pop this out. Bit of flour on the bench. Okay, and just empty the dough onto the bench. You don't have to knead this much at all. We're just basically bringing it all together. Try and make it a little bit even. Get this into some cling film. Just pop this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Now we're going to get on to the filling. Get yourself a nice large brown onion and chop it up really finely. Now I'm not going to record any more than this because you know what happens, the tears start. Okay, so what we're going to do is cut the onion in half. Now I've actually bought this little device that I absolutely love to chop up veggies and onions. So basically, see that the way it is? When you push down, all these little pieces come down and chop up the onion. I grew up with something like this. So all you do is put it over the onion, go round. I just keep turning it round so it chops up the onion really finely and small. And it contradicted everything I just said. I think it was actually stuck with the onion. So just, yeah, it was. So just turn it around as you're chopping. As you can see, I'm turning it. Look at that. And you know what? I've still got no tears. I'm using beef mince, 500 grams, onion chopped. Now I can't help it, but I feel that we need to put cheese in it. So it's just 1/4 cup of cheese. Salt, garlic powder, pepper, thyme, sage. Get yourself a plate. All right, so we'll just break up the mincemeat and mix it all in together. Now you can use my papetti recipe if you want more of an Italian sort of take on the patty. We cannot get sausage patties here in Australia, or I haven't seen them anyway. So if you can get a sausage patty where you are, I would actually use that if you could, and it'll just make it so much easier as well to make this recipe. So about a handful. There we go. so that's it, the last one. Prepare yourself a plate with paper towels on there, just so it soaks up all the oil from when you fry the patties. Okay, so let's go and cook these up. Nice blob of oil in the pan and just heat it up. Pop the burgers in the pan. Just flatten them out with a spatula. Just cook them a couple of minutes each side. So that one's ready. Pop that onto the paper towel. Here we go. All right, so let's get the pastry done. Now I'm using ramekins to make my pies. So just get your butter and just grease the inside of the ramekins. Okay, so what you can do is get yourself some puff pastry and just let that thaw out a little bit. A lot of pies are actually made with short crust pastry as the base, and actually at the top is puff pastry. Now this is entirely up to you whether you want to use the puff pastry or the short crust one that we've just made earlier. Okay, so just put a tiny bit of flour on the bench. Okay, so here's our pastry. Get a bit of flour on your rolling pin. Okay. Here we go. So get your ramekin. Pop it on the pastry. I'm just using a butter knife to cut around it. So basically what we're cutting out is the base of the ramekin. Then, using the sides of the ramekin, so I'm going to pop out the base. Just get this out of the way. Get your base, push in the sides. Get your pastry, pop it slightly to the bottom of the base, and then push it down to the bottom of the pastry as you go around. It's important you do this because when you pick your pie out, it can actually fall apart and you've lost your base. And you don't want that, especially if you've got baked beans in there. Push the joint together and then squeeze out the pastry. Go slightly over the top. Go. Okay, so that's it. If you've got too much pastry, just sort of squeeze it into a ball. Make sure you wrap it in the cling film. Now you can use this at a later date and you can actually freeze it and just reuse it when you feel like making more pastry later on. Take yourself good quality baked beans. You heat your oven at 180 degrees. Get your burger, put it at the bottom of the ramekin. Get your baked beans. Pour that over the top. I know it's an odd combination, but I absolutely loved it when I had this. Get your burger, baked beans. It's about 2.5 tablespoons in each one. Get a ramekin, put it on top. So now you've got the circle to put on top of your pie. Beat an egg. Now we're going to glaze pies with the egg. Sort of around the pie. There you go. Next one. Just a nice coat Don't over, otherwise it'll be swimming in egg. Pop it in the oven for about 40 minutes until a nice golden brown colour. Hey guys, look at this, fresh out the oven. Just get a knife just to scrape down the side, just in case it sticks. Go, so I'm actually going to tip it out. Oh, I think I just crushed it. Oh, look how easy that was to come out. It's nice and hot. This is the one with the puff pastry. And this is the one with the short crust pastry. I think we have to taste test. I might go get Sebastian. This would be weird for Sebastian, something he's not used to having, yeah, Duck?
I'm Australian, she's English.
Yeah, he's Aussie, so it's not normal for them.
Pie.
Okay, now this one is the one that's got the puff pastry on top with the short crust on the side. And this one's got short crust pastry all the way around. Now this pastry is a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
Okay, so be prepared.
Okay.
But you better like it.
Okay. I'm dying.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of that one.
This one?
Yeah, go on, try that one. Oh, well, we can't see that. You know what, guys? I'm going to sort of move the camera. So he's just chopped it up. So there we go. So you see you got the beans and the burger there. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it weird?
No.
Is it nice?
Yeah, I like it.
Do you? Oh, fantastic.
I like it.
Okay, now stop eating that one for a minute. Now let's try it with the puff pastry.
I'll cut from this side.
Yeah, yeah, let's turn it around so it's easy for you.
Okay.
What do you think?
Definitely, I like the puff pastry.
On the top?
Yes, I do like the puff pastry.
Well, there you go, guys. So, as I said earlier on today, you continue on, when they make pies, they actually use short crust for the body and puff pastry for the top. So that's a bit of info for you. And it really depends in which way you prefer to go. So,
Bye.
hang on, he's just nicked off.
Smells food.
Yeah, let me give you another fork. Here we go. Ah, I know, but come on. Say hi, Chelsea.
Hello.
You're going to have a bit of the burger, a bit of the beans and the pastry. Oh, she is absolutely starving. She's come back from uni and now she's working. Do you like that? Okay, silent. I'm hearing them. Okay, okay. Now let's try the other one with short crust at the top. I want to see whether Chelsea likes it with the puff pastry at the top.
No, I'm enjoying your food. This pastry is nice.
Now, tell me what you think, whether we do puff or whether we do short crust.
That was hot.
So, which way do you prefer?
I am a puff pastry girl.
Yep, same
But
here.
I like pastry, it's like a little bit sweet from the butter. Like a buttery type pastry. So I like the shortbread.
Wow, the short crust.
I
Beautiful.
love puff pastry, mostly because it's really soft and it's like crunchy but soggy, and I'm weird, I like soggy stuff. But so I love puff pastry, but this short crust reminds me of those pork puffs.
Oh,
the Vietnamese make.
Oh,
Yeah, and
okay.
they're really buttery. That's what that tastes like. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's
like
it,
that.
guys. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully your choice, adhere to preference. Sebastian likes the puff. Chelsea likes the short crust. So there you go. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye.